Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily Bitcoin and Chainlink analysis video. I have Krisha with me here. Krisha, say hi.
What's up, you guys?
Krisha's going to be leading today's video. Krisha asked me to give you guys my thoughts on Bitcoin USD. So here I am. And get ready to get bored because this video is going to be long. You guys are likely not going to be getting the answers you want. Is Bitcoin going to go to 12,000? Is Bitcoin going to go to 7,000? None of that here. Only analysis, only confusion, and a lot of it. So
only confusion. But no, I was actually really excited for this one, right? So now quite a few people, by the way, have asked for your presence in the videos. So I'm like, you know what, man, I miss him as much as you do. But I particularly wanted you to come on today because now for those of you in the Seed Telegram chat, now you know this, on Friday, okay, that's when Bitcoin actually popped, when Bitcoin finally picked a side. Right before that move, I kid you not, guys, Sean actually went onto the Telegram chat and he's just like, guys, time to wake up. It's time to wake up. So it was really that kind of just wowed me. I'm like, how the hell did you know that it was gonna pop? Like it was in a 1 month consolidation, for crying out loud. So I want to get your thoughts on that today, okay? And I want you to tell everybody exactly what it is that sort of tipped you off. And now, in addition to that, Sean, I know that just based on that, as soon as you said that, shortly after, you took a trade on Bitcoin, correct? Now, I know you were playing the higher time frames. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, fill everyone in on sort of what prompted you to take that trade. What really sort of, you know, got you to wake up?
Well, here's the thing. There's no magic in the analysis or anything special that I did that made me wake up. I am proud of the trade that I did take. Don't get me wrong. I'm giving myself a pat on the shoulder, but it's not more so for the analysis, because everyone out there, everyone watching these YouTube videos, everyone in the Grove and the Seed, you guys can come up with the same analysis. In fact, we were talking about everything over here. What I was giving myself a pat on the back for was the execution. And that's what I meant by, hey, guys, it's time to wake up, because it's one thing to be able to analyze the charts, but it's an entirely different thing to actually execute, right? I harp on this time and time again. There's three aspects to trading. There's getting the timing right, getting the analysis right, and getting the execution right. It was around a year and a half ago where I did an entire video where I talked about, guys, I got 2 out of the 3 right, but the third, the execution part, I got it wrong, and I missed out on a big trade opportunity. So I've been trying to improve on that. Now, ever since then, I've been constantly trying to improve on that. And this time, that's what I meant when I went on to Seed, and I said, guys, all right, it's I know we've enjoyed our time taking a break from trading, right? We've just been watching, sitting back, enjoying our profits. But now it's time to wake up and pay attention, all right? You may not want to trade, but at the very least, start paying attention, because an opportunity may present itself. And going back to what you were saying in terms of you asking me earlier as well, why did I decide to take a trade if I'm playing the higher time frames and I wasn't looking to take a trade until like perhaps towards the end of the year? Sometimes things just line up so well. There's so many things staring you, screaming at you, that you can't help but at least start building a starter position, right? And that's the thing about traders. You know, it's not that you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it because there's an itch that you just have to suddenly scratch. It comes out of nowhere. And that's what separates successful traders, in my opinion, from losing traders. It's not that they can't be successful. It's that they want to be successful because there's an itch that they just have to scratch. And that's essentially what that's the answer for you, Krisha. It's nothing fancy, simple analysis. We're going to go through it today. There's a lot to talk about, guys. So that's what I meant by it's likely going to be a longer video. So for those of you looking for a shorter video, perhaps find a different channel for today. At least for today. We have a lot to talk about. I'm going to be giving you guys a recap on what we've talked about, because I'm here to tell you that the trade was easy. The trade was simple. The trade was right there, staring us in the face, that we've been talking about. In fact, I missed the first trade opportunity, took the second one, not as good, of course. I'll be talking about my mistakes as well today.
Boom.
But let's get started. Enough of the ramble. We're going to do a quick recap. Krisha, we did 2 videos before this together, right? Where the first one I talked about I believe it was my monthly to and yearly perspective on the charts. I had given you guys my views on how I'll be looking only at the monthly, 3-month, and 12-month to make my trading decisions. But as time passes by, as the weeks pass by, right, each closing week is going to be more important leading into the yearly close. Right now, we're
Yes.
already halfway through October. We have only 2 months more to go after we close the October month. But the month that was really important was September. How September closed dictated whether I would remain bullish or not. And like we discussed in that monthly video, guys, please go ahead and rewatch it. I can't go through it entirely, but Krisha and I had differing opinions. I was like, all right, I'm going to stay long-term bullish as long as Bitcoin closes about 10,650-ish. We did that. We had a nice close, and I was like, all right, things are good. Now it's just about being patient and waiting for the easy trade opportunities that will begin to present itself. Could take weeks, could take months. And hey, things happen a little faster than expected. That's what Bitcoin usually does. It either dumps faster than you think or it pumps faster than you think. And you just have to keep your eyes open at the right moments. You got the close. And right after that, now you're seeing Bitcoin on this month perform pretty well. I'm going to go ahead now, switch on over to the 3-month, show you guys what we're looking at. And there are 2 key levels over here, right? There's one key level right over here at around 14,000. We talked about that. That's a major yearly level too. And that's what we're looking for Bitcoin to test by end of year. Okay, if Bitcoin tests this level at around 14,000, we're looking at the yearly chart now. And here we have BLX on the 12-month time frame on BLX, Brave New Coin Liquid Index. For those of you who want to go ahead and find it on your trading view, you can see that Bitcoin is in a yearly uptrend. Yes, a yearly uptrend. We had a bull flag like formation right over here between the years of Jan 2013 to Jan 2016 that led to the 2017 bull run, guys. This over here was literally a break of a bull flag on the yearly time frame. Could we be putting in something similar over here? It looks like it, right? Yes, it is more prolonged, but that's what markets do when they mature. As markets begin to mature, they draw in more interest, they draw in more liquidity, and they have more prolongated consolidations with a more prolongated bull run as well, right? So these numbers, if we do see something similar, a similar breakout towards the upside, those numbers are looking ridiculous. But we're not here to talk about that, even though it excites all of us. We're not here to talk about moonshots. We're here to talk about how we can take trades in the direction of the hierarchy trend, right? So on the yearly, we have an uptrend. On the 3-month, we already discussed, we have an uptrend, right? I'm going to switch back on over to my Coinbase chart right over here, guys. We're looking at a bull flag right over here. We're seeing the internal structure of the bull flag that's within the yearly chart that I just showed you guys on BLX. If this breaks towards the upside, we might be seeing that yearly bull run actually start beginning to show its face. So we talked about the 2 levels. One level is matching up with the yearly chart right over here at 14,000. I'm going to switch back on over to BLX quickly for you guys, okay, to show you right over here, guys. Okay, 14,000. If we break this on the yearly, it's lining up with the 3-month chart as well. The 3-month bull flag is lining up with the yearly bull flag that may lead to a massive bull run in the entire crypto space. So what are the 2 levels we're looking at, Krisha? 13,941, round that up to 14,000. But there's another level right underneath that could give us a hint that this may happen sooner than later. And that's right over here at 10,000, let's say around 10,950-ish, all right? I don't want to zoom in right now, but somewhere around there.
Yep.
If the monthly candle closes anywhere around where it's at right now, it's going to look really good. But if we take out the previous month's high at 12,550-ish, it's going to look spectacular. Because at the moment, we still have on the 3-month time frame, right? We have lower highs compared to this high that we put in over here at 20,000. The next high was at 14,000, and the next high, the high that we have after that, after putting in this low over here at 3,900-ish, was 12,600, right? Can we now start pushing higher? 2 things I want to see. Can Bitcoin take out its previous monthly high, keep that trend going? Because ever since the massive Corona candle, we've been pushing higher each 3-month candle, right? So this can take its time. We have 79 days, 18 hours for this to actually take place. So you guys got to be patient. Again, the point I'm trying to drive in here is that the trend on the high time frame is still up. We want to trade in the direction of this trend. But while the trend on the high time frames is up, within these candles, we may have downtrends that we have to be careful of. Okay. So we talked about the monthly.
Okay.
We showed you guys the monthly. We showed you how that fits into the 3-month picture and the 12-month picture as well, right? Now the question is, what are the mid time frames doing? Krisha, what I'm going to do now is on the monthly chart over here, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my drawings that we did in the most recent video, where we essentially talked about certain patterns that were taking place. We talked about the Fibonacci retracement, how we might be in accumulation. That was the first clue, right? If you do remember, that's why I got on that video that day. I said, guys, we might be accumulating in this range right over here. Okay, and this pink zone over here between the 0.65 and 0.618 zone, between 10,500 and 9,000 ish, I was like, this is looking like we are accumulating on that level over there. Okay, so this is on the monthly chart. You're seeing it play out.
Look at it, like, oh my god, look at that wick, the pickup, everything was just beautiful on that.
And this is what's interesting, right? At the time, it didn't look like this. Okay, the month hadn't even closed yet. The first time we were looking at this, Krisha, you and I, and we were dipped underneath it. It didn't look as pretty. And that's what people fail to understand, that when there's time left on the chart, you can't judge the candle yet, right? I should say that again. When there's time left on the candle, you can't judge the chart yet.
Yeah.
Okay. And at the time, we were dipped underneath. I'm talking about this candle over here, the month of September. We were dipped underneath. It wasn't looking too good. It looked like it was about to violate some key levels. But now look at that. We closed really well. Okay. So now I'm going to switch on over to the mid time frames. Let's start with the daily and move our way up. Okay. Switching on over to the daily, and we were looking at the structure. Krisha, if you do remember, let's turn off my 200 moving average. And you can see that we're looking at this potential. I was like, again, this is what separates traders who are more experienced from traders who are hindsight traders, right? We were looking at this. Oopsies. Let me just delete this line. We were looking at this rising trend line that nobody else was looking at as the potential structure within this speakerphone pattern, this broadening wedge towards the upside. And we're like, hey, this is lining up with a key accumulation level of a macro retracement of the 6.5 and the 6.18, right? It's lining up with a key accumulation level that the market is known to accumulate on. It's going to give us information regardless of what happens, whether we break towards the upside or we break towards the downside. If we break towards the downside, we know that, hey, you know what? This level over here wasn't being accumulated. It was being distributed on, and we are going to have a significant move, a nice break towards the downside, all the way up to like 7,900 possible. But we do not take a trade until that happens. We need to see signs of that happening. We do not want to front run a down move in an overall bull market. We just talked about that. 12-month, 3-month, the monthly is all looking good. Switch on to your weekly. That's looking pretty good too. Okay. So why would you take that trade to the downside? There's no reason to. Just sit back and wait, but keep your eyes open. So what could we do? What could we look at to make an early decision? And this is the trade I missed, guys. Mostly due to lack of concentration. I'm going to turn off my horizontals. And we talked about this, right? We talked about this specific trade at the end of the video. For those of you who were patient enough to sit through the video, the entire analysis that Krisha and I did on that video, you guys would have known, hey, this trade was staring you in the face. And it was this one over here. We were squeezing on this Ichimoku for the longest time, right? The Ichimoku, the cloud. We said cloud is king.
Yes, sir.
We said that at the end of the video. We said that the cloud has been dictating it. If you guys even do remember, before I stopped doing the daily videos and Krisha took over recently and I went on my nice long vacation, it was somewhere around here where I was like, hey guys, I would start looking at the daily cloud because we are poking through to the top of this cloud and inspecting the edges of this cloud. And look at what we did ever since then. Edge to edge trade in either direction. And this was it right over here. Before Krisha and I did the last video, we looked at the cloud over here and said, that's all you have to do. Wait for the cloud to either break towards the downside or towards the upside. And this was the easy trade right over here. Broke towards the upside, gave you the retest, and boom, continuation.
It was very, very clean. And not just that, like now that I'm looking at the cloud, this was a really profitable range if you really have to think about it. It was respecting the cloud levels so well that you could have literally played support and resistance on the cloud and you just had profitable trades on either side.
Exactly.
And you know, so you could have made money in this consolidation.
Yep.
It was very neat.
That's what people don't realize about the cloud, right? The cloud is essentially a range bound trend opportunity. Usually, the hard thing about trend trades are that you don't know when to take your profits, but the cloud gives you both. It gives you
Yeah.
trend trade opportunities as well as gives you a range to those trend trades, as long as you dissect it with the lower time frames, right? So, if I was playing the daily cloud, I would be staring and concentrating on the 12 and the 4 hour too to know that, hey, is the trend going in my favor? And we're going to talk about that too. But right now, what I want to do is I'm going to go from daily to the 4 day, and then we will switch on over to the lower time frames. Essentially, we're starting on over the macro time frame, guys, looking at the mid time frame, and then looking at the lower time frame. And why am I doing this? Okay, so let's go ahead and find a spot on the chart where I can scribble. This is a good spot for me to scribble in a nice blank area all the way into 2021. So let's assume, guys, that we are looking at a macro trend of any asset, okay, of any asset that is going something like this. All right. So let's say this is an uptrend on the 3 month time frame. We're looking at the 3 month time frame over here. Now, notice something. Oopsies. Notice something. This area over here, okay, it's clearly an upthrust. It's just one line like this. It could be literally one candle for all you know. Let's go ahead now and zoom into this. If you zoom into this and perhaps look at the weekly or even the daily, you're going to see that this upthrust over here could be doing something like this on its own. The point I'm
Yeah.
going to drive in over here, guys, is that within this upthrust, there are downtrends, right?
Yeah.
You get that, Krisha?
Yeah.
As a trader, all you have to do is identify the macro trend is up, correct? And you can add a lot of probability in your favor by trading only those legs within the the lower time frames. So this leg over here, right? The up leg within the macro leg. Now, I'm trying to like condense this in you guys in the C program. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. In the advanced trend analysis module, we dive into this really, really deep. So I hope you guys at the very least are getting the gist of what I'm trying to say over here. But what I'm trying to say is you as a trader, right? If you're a beginner trader, you can add a lot of probability and make your life a lot, much easier, okay? Make your overall trade setups more profitable, more consistent by just being patient and trading in the direction of this leg over here. So what you do is ignore the down legs, pretty much ignore the down legs within the lower time frames and wait for the up legs because you're adding probability. And probability is all that this game is about. It's about edge. The more edge that you add, right? The more consistent you will be in the long term, the more profitable you'll be in the long term. Don't worry about trying to capitalize every single trade, guys. You don't want to try to capitalize the down move and the up move, the down move and the up move. That's you over trading. Especially if you're a new trader, don't try to be fancy. Keep it simple, keep it stupid, be patient, do the mango way, do the stress-free way. So I went on a huge ramble over here that's probably completely off topic, but
No,
apologies.
I don't think it is. I think it is. This is important, right? Because now we're seeing markets trend. So it's about really sort of drilling down on, the trades with the highest probability. So essentially, I think what you were trying to say is, trade in the direction, or rather catch the trades that is in the direction of the overarching trend.
Yeah. If you think about it, right, Krisha, there have been very, very few big short opportunities on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But there have been many big long opportunities on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right. That's one of the reasons why being a perma bull has been successful for a lot of traders. Now over here at Mango, we don't do that. We are neither perma bullish or perma bearish. We are perma put money on the plate to feed your family-ish. Right. That's what we want to do. It's about that at the end of the day. You have to always think about your family, your friends, and you can't just get loyal to any asset. Right?
Yeah.
It's about putting food on the plate so you can live a stress-free life, the Mango life. So the reason I got to that topic over there where I ramble is because this structure over here, this formation over here, guys, is happening within the higher time frame. So this is typically a bearish formation, okay? Rising wedge, broadening wedge is typically bearish, right? You can play bearish as soon as it breaks, but it did not break. We were on too many macro levels that were suggesting that we could possibly bounce over here. Now, that leads us to our next discussion that's really important. Okay, yes, we bounced, but does this mean that we go to the moon over here? Clearly not, right? We clearly have a structure over here that is bearish. Like, let's say we just keep extending this trend line over here. this could actually line up really, really well with that 14. Let's say we actually do just up thrust and actually break this high over here too. We still have that yearly resistance that's coming in right over here, Krisha, around 13,800, 14,000-ish. And that will line up with something like this. And then we could break down, right? We don't know that, but that's days off. We got to be cognizant of that though, as traders, okay? But at the same time, this is a worthy trade, right? And that's what you're looking for. This is the leg. This is the leg within that 3-month structure or that yearly structure of a bullish asset that you want to trade with confidence without having too much stress. When I'm in a short trade, okay, and the move is going, I want Bitcoin to make that move fast because I'm feeling uncomfortable trading against the macro trend. And the macro trend of Bitcoin is bullish. Okay, nobody can argue that, right? If you're arguing that, you probably don't understand trading. Like, you can't say Bitcoin is bearish on the.
No, it's too apparent now. Like
Yeah.
the overall the macro trend is too apparent now for people to still be ignoring it.
I mean, the fundamental trend is so bullish too at this point. Like, there are a lot of seminal moments that have happened just in the past 4 months of Bitcoin. Let's talk about first all the money printing that has happened. That's literally a story made for Bitcoin, right? Like, Bitcoin was created for this market environment, and then we have one of the world's most famous, most respected hedge fund traders of all time, Paul Tudor Jones, saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm adding Bitcoin to my portfolio too." Right? Him taking a position, validated Bitcoin to almost every other macro investor out there, every other hedge fund investor out there. Then we had another moment with Michael Saylor, right? We have corporate CEOs now putting in Bitcoin as their treasury, not a position, but as their treasury. These are seminal moments in Bitcoin. So the macro trend is now beginning to, the technical analysis on the macro side is beginning to align with the fundamental macro side as well. So we're seeing, do you want to trade against that? What I'm trying to say is, it's fine to take short trades on Bitcoin. And what we want when we short Bitcoin in those situations is for aggressive moves, right? Like that trade that we took from 6K to 3K. Like, that was great. Would I have been able to sit in a long-term downtrend in Bitcoin? I don't know. I would have gotten uncomfortable eventually. But at that time, things were pretty bearish. Another conversation for another time. Okay, so going back to what we were saying. On the daily, things were looking like we were accumulating in the zone over here. Cloud was telling us we were accumulating, waiting for the break over here, as well as this broadening wedge, as well as the Fibonacci accumulation zone over here, the pink zone that we have marked on our Fib levels, coming in on a macro level. So a lot lining up over there. All we had to do was wait for the break of Bitcoin. Okay, let me go ahead and remove all of this. Zoom in. We got the break. That was the trade right there that I missed completely. Even though I was watching it for days and days and days, on the day that Bitcoin actually broke, I actually lost concentration, and I wasn't paying attention that day. And I missed the trade.
I wonder, Sean.
Wonder why. But and I want to ramble a little bit on that too, right? When you make a mistake like that, that is a lack of concentration, right? And you miss a trade, you have to really assess, hey, you know what? Do I have the appetite for trading? Should I be taking the same position size that I would? Because you really have to ask yourself, if you miss a trade opportunity that you've been looking at for a long time and it was due to lack of concentration, could it lead now on your next trade to you missing an exit opportunity, right? So I have to really question myself, hey, you know what? Oh, here I missed an entry. If I get into a trade, I may make some other mistakes. So what I want to do now is I want to pace myself, okay? It's kind of like, I talk about needing the appetite for trading, and sometimes when you go on a massive winning streak and you cash out and you take your profits, and we had a big win, right? We had a huge win over the summer, with the altcoin rally, and we stepped back. So the appetite, it's kind of like eating your fill. So now you need to build up an appetite again. So when I make a mistake like this, I tell myself, you know what I need now is not a meal. I need an appetizer. I need something small, okay? Just to build my appetite for trading again. And that's what I did. I reduced my position by half on the next trade. And the next trade was right over here. Essentially, I tried to get in at around 11,100, completely missed that, and just market bought at around 11,250, somewhere around there. Quick range trade, in and out, right? I'm not going for any big trend trade. In and out, range trade, half the position size that I normally would as well, but I'm building the appetite, right? Also, there are things that are making me think that we may get another opportunity to buy somewhere around here.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead now and talk about the 4-day. Okay, what made me buy at around 11,000? The multiple things all lined up, but one of the big ones was on the 4-day time frame. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my horizontals. And it's, again, guys, nothing fancy, nothing special. These are things I literally told you guys in the last video that I would be looking for. Number one, break of the Ichimoku Cloud on the daily. We got that. The next one was the Mango Dynamic Indicator that I've been eyeing for the longest time, right? This has been literally giving us trades each time it breaks towards the upside. Broke towards the upside over here. Nice run. Broke towards the upside over here. Pull back. Waiting. I was hoping for it to come back a little bit lower, but the big clue that it wasn't going to come back was right over here, guys. Let me just show you. Right, something you guys can take note of. When you see a retest of the previous high get bounced off right immediately, you know that this is being aggressively respected, and they're likely going to see continuation, and there's no point waiting anymore. So as soon as I saw this high being respected, as opposed to us getting a retest of this level, I was like, all right, cool. I'm just getting my position in. I can't get too greedy on this, because I've been victim to that, where I get greedy and it's missed a trade. And what was respected, the key level that was important, was this level here and not this, because this got broken and this was a bullish break. As soon as this is not respected, as soon as this was broken, this level became important. So got a retest of the previous high, continuation, took my profits off this level right over here, not big deal, 11,650-ish. Went a little higher, went another $100 higher. I could have gotten greedy if I was playing the daily, because that daily level was right over here, I believe. Yeah, right over here. So I was playing the 4-day though, so I got in, got out. What else lined up? Now we can go on over to the 12-hour time frame. And a few things that lined up over here. Okay, you can go ahead and look at your oscillators. So on the oscillators, there are a couple of things, but I want to start with the stochastics too first. Kusha, I do apologize if I'm all over the place.
No. I mean, just do you, I guess. Do you?
Okay, yeah. I'm not as organized as Kusha, guys. I'm all over the place, but that's how I trade. So over here, we are seeing something very, very special, right? We're seeing this line up. The stochastics are lining up really, really beautifully with what we were seeing on the high time frames, on the 4-day, on the monthly, on the 3-month, the 12-month, etc. Accumulation. Accumulation, high lows on the stochastic. Now, however, especially for those of you on the C program, if you're looking at oscillators the way I do, right? I know most people just look at it for bearish and bullish divergence, but I think people are misunderstanding how they're supposed to use oscillators. For those of you in the C program, you guys know how to look at this, right? Especially if you guys have watched the most recent module on oscillators. Where was your trade opportunity, guys? Where was your trade opportunity? Right over here.
Boom. Man, everything lined up. Like, there was so much confluence there. So much confluence there.
Yeah, it did. And there were many ways to take the trade, right? You didn't only need to look at your stochastics. You could have even looked at your RSI right over here. You had asymmetrical like triangle right over there too, right? I do like to look at stochastics for nice momentum breaks though. But the fact that I lined up over here as well, really, really great. But there's another way to take it, right? Let's say you did not want to look at symmetrical triangles. Let's say you're like, hey, I'm staying away from diagonals completely. I'm going to be playing it safe. I'm going to be looking at this horizontal right over here. This was the key horizontal. Okay, you can see that over here, respected, broke over here, led to the down thrust. You know that level is key. Okay, so cool. Let's say you want even more confirmation right after that. You get the break, a nice little retest of the previous high again, right? That's when you start getting clues of Bitcoin being really, really strong. And you can see that high. We talked about this, so we're talking about it again. Retest of that high and continuation. How did you know to buy that? Because right over here, you got the break, waited for the confirmation. We've been in a downtrend. How do you know? Okay, cool. I want my last confirmation before buying this dip over here. Now, Krisha, you're the one who actually came and pointed this out to me when it did start happening. Was the mango wine on the 12-hour and on the 1-hour. Both of the two time frames that I love the most. I know some of you really like looking at the 4-hour too, but right over here, right over there, the mango wine on the 12-hour switch green. So giving you that extra confirmation on the dip. How do I like playing? So the 12-hour right now on the mango wine is giving you the very good signal, not the perfect signal. But now if you're looking to buy a dip, the best thing to do is, hey, look at the 1-hour time frame, and where did the 1-hour give you the perfect signal? right over there, right on that dip, right? Give you a nice trade opportunity from one end of the range to the other end. So again, you're seeing everything line up, and there was so much more, but I think this video is going to take an hour to discuss everything, but it was just looking so great. So those kind of situations where there's literally money waiting in the corner of the room for you to just go and take, you just have to take. Yes, you could get bitten by a mosquito waiting for you over there, but it's worth the trade, right? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Is the probability worth taking the trade? And hey, it was worth it, definitely. Those are my thoughts, Kusha. I rambled on for a very long time. Or there's more. Okay, there's a couple more things too. Let me just talk about one last thing. Again, so much lining up. The mango dynamic indicator too. Both times, let me hide the horizontals. Both times this has switched green, right? You can see it led to a nice up thrust, not continuation, right? Like over here, we were still in the downtrend, right? And we talked about this too. At the time when this was happening, I was looking for the first lower high. We got that around 11,200-ish. And now this time, can this lead to an uptrend now, continuation of the uptrend? Kusha, looking back now, things have panned out almost perfectly in the way we discussed, right? Again, switch green over here, right? We were looking for just this. We're looking for the bull case. The most bullish situation that I was looking for when we were in this situation here was putting in a lower high, then putting in a high low compared to these guys over here, which is what we did, and now we have the higher high. It actually panned out exactly like we were looking for it to pan out. And I want to point out, guys, even though the indicators over here, right, especially the mango dynamic flip green, I wasn't looking for this to keep going. And this is where you can separate traders who are just being perma bulls and are just trying to sell you a freaking BS story from traders who really know what they're talking about and have experience. Because just because an indicator is flipping temporarily bullish does not mean it's going to lead to continuation. We weren't looking for that. We weren't looking for that. I was going against my own indicator over here saying, hey, I'm looking for a lower high instead, right? And that's what we ended up getting. If it kept going great, I would have been happy, but I have to be realistic, not just optimistic. All right, that's it for me, Kusha. Any thoughts on your end?
No, I think you hit a couple of good nails on the head today in terms of the whole macro trend, okay? And also you mentioned something that was very, very critical, okay? Critical getting into sort of any market now moving forward. It's going to be, really assessing that macro trend, determine which side the trend is going in, and then play your trades to that side, because there's a good chance that gives you that added boost, that added probability.
Yeah.
Right?
It's easy. It's stress-free. Like, yes, it's really, really cool to try and get every single leg of a trade of an asset, right? You can try and trade every single movement and you can show off to your friends. But the truth is that your account size is not feeling too good about itself. I'm pretty sure, all right? I'm pretty sure. I've made all the mistakes, guys. I've made all the mistakes, and I had to really come to terms with, hey, what do I really, really want? Do I want to be showing off to my friends as to how well I'm doing as a trader? Or do I want to be living a stress-free life where I can now choose, hey, you know what? I'm going to take 3 months off. I'm going to take 2 months off. Because, and I was talking to you and a few other people about this question. I remember the most scariest thing for me when I was in high school was when I realized that this was when I was in like grade 7, grade 8. I found out that in the 9 to 5 life, the max vacation you get was 2 to 4 weeks. After living an entire life of getting 3 months of summer vacation whenever we wanted, I mean, each year, right? We always had that to look forward to. Right?
Yeah.
We always had that to look forward to. And the dread of thinking about that 9 to 5 life was always scary for me, where like I was like, okay, I get only 2 or 4 weeks max. Oh man. So that's not the kind of life I want to live. I want to live a stress-free life, and I wanted to find the most stress-free way of trading to be able to facilitate that life. That if I wanted my summer vacation, I can take it whenever I want. Why? Because now, hey, I can fly to a country that has summer, even if your country has winter, right? So take your summer vacation whenever you want, guys. Do it the mango way. Let's go ahead and give them a analysis of what we think Bitcoin could do from here. I think that this area over here is really, really key as to whether Bitcoin sees continuation or not. Because right now we've only basically talked about what Bitcoin has done and why it's done it, blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and talk about, based on that, right? Based on everything that Bitcoin has done thus far, how does that cascade onto what it could do right now? Because that is likely going to be useful for people who have actually stayed through the entirety of the video. Okay. So I'm going to switch on over to the 4-day. Kusha, my chart is still open on your screen, right?
Yes, it is.
So on the 4-day right now, what have we done? If you go ahead and just look at the structure over here, we've put in a higher high compared to this lower high over here. So the trend, the downtrend, the potential downtrend that could have insinuated or rather cascaded on Bitcoin has been invalidated. Okay, it's no longer on the table. What we're now looking for is a higher low after this high over here. After the high, what was this high? We were around 11,760. So where could this be? Could this come in at a retest of around 10,980-ish, or perhaps let me zoom in. Yeah, so around 10,950. Could we get that move? Okay, that would be a buy opportunity for me. That would also line up with an official retest of the top of the cloud right over here, along with your Kijun, Tenkin, blah, blah, all lining up. Because, Kusha, if you look at the daily, right? What is the most bullish setup on the daily cloud right now? We got the pop over the cloud, we got the pop over the Kijun, but what we don't have just yet is the bullish TK cross above the cloud.
Yeah.
It's all going to line up. And look at where that Tenkin is likely going to come up to, Kusha, around 11,150, where the Kijun is currently at, which will give us that TK cross. Now, what are we going to then have? We're going to have one, price over the cloud, price over the Tenkin, price over the Kijun, right? That's pretty much one of the really good setups that you want on the daily cloud, but that could still happen with a move, a wick down to somewhere around this region, around 11,000, and then continuation towards the upside. So that's a trade setup that I would be looking for. Let's go ahead and see how things pan out. Of course, the charts keep evolving, and we will be keeping you guys updated on how things play out. Like again, guys, I do apologize. There's so much I do want to talk about. There's so many things I can still go ahead and talk about, but this is one of the reasons why I do daily videos, because that way I get to spread it out along 7 days, as opposed to trying to fit it in all in one video. But hey, that being said, my name is Sean Dexter, and her name is Krisha. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do the mango way, do the stress-free way. There's more to come. Ciao.
Ciao, guys.